Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. On today's video, we're going to be talking about pre-construction condo investing. Now, this is something that I've done in the past and I've been successful at it. It's worked out very well for me. I'm going to share my experience with you a little bit, and we're going to go over what to look for when investing in a pre-construction condo. Today we're going to be looking at the Westline condo. Now this is just an example. It could be a condo in your city, in your country. It doesn't matter. It's just a little overall what to look at situation here. Now this is the brochure that I have up on the screen now, and this is going to be a type of propaganda, if you will. Okay, so it's going to highlight all the major positive reasons to purchase this, but you need to take everything with a grain of salt. You need to decide whether they're just trying to sell you something or they're presenting correct and meaningful information. For example, if we look here, the Westline condo is going to be built beside a TTC subway station, okay? The TTC is the Toronto Transit Commission. It's our local public transportation system. Now, it is going to be on the line, but it's not right on the subway, okay? So they reference that it's a 4-minute walk. So you have to ask yourself, does being a 4-minute walk away from the transit station add value to this condominium? And in my opinion, yes, it does. But it's not as good as if it were connected or if it was just underground, okay? So there's different things that add different levels of value. A little example of the propaganda, however, is if you look here, it references that it's a 12-minute subway or bus or combination of both ride to Yonge Street. Now, this is not correct. This is under ideal situations with nobody on the road if there's buses and nobody on the trains and no waiting in any situation. Now, during rush hour and when vehicles break down and there's delays, there's no chance that that is a 12-minute ride, okay? So these are the type of things I'm talking about. You need to put your experiences in the situation. You need to know the area and know what's around. Another thing to watch out for in these, propaganda brochures are the pictures, okay? So these are just an artist's rendition of what the final product is going to look like. It might be completely different and you might be disappointed once the building is completed. So you need to keep that in mind. This is just a representation of an idea. Things can change between conception and reality, okay? So in these pictures, everything looks lovely, neat, clean, and modern. This might not be the final decor choices, all right? So keep it in mind, but it is important that you like what you see, and hopefully the builder is true to the word, and this is the type of quality that you can expect. If you decide to purchase the pre-construction condominium, there's a couple things that you can argue for if the builder changes anything, okay? And that's things particularly in your unit that's applicable to you, that you've signed off on. For example, if your kitchen is supposed to have quartz countertop, it will have quartz countertop because that's what you signed the piece of paper to have. Now, however, if the building is supposed to have a very large pool and upon completion it only has a single person at a time pool, you really don't have recourse in that situation. So the only things you have 100% control over are things in your unit. And before you sign off on any paperwork, get a lawyer to look at it, get someone who has experience in this pre-construction purchasing to take a look at it, make sure everything's in writing so you get what you're promised at the end of the day. Another ideal situation would be that you're choosing a builder that has completed buildings and they have a lifetime of experience. You don't want a brand new builder who's going to take your deposit of, whatever, $50,000 to $100,000 of your hard-earned money and then go out of business or be bought out by another company, and then it's a whole runaround, a whole rigmarole of what to do next. You want a builder that's been in the business for many years, and most builders and designers will tout that. They'll give you that information, like, look what we've done, look at our other buildings, go research, even Google the other buildings, just Google their address. Like, here we go, it says this builder's completed 55 Mercer. So we're gonna type in on Google 55 Mercer. So once we type it in, we get 55 Mercer condominiums by Center Court. So we're going to take a look at the Google reviews that are there, and we're going to see there's 2 reviews, all right? So it's not a lot to work with, but we're thinking outside of the box right now. We're just trying to get any bit of information we can on the builder. And there's 2 reviews. One of them gives it a 5-star and says nothing. It's not great. And there's one that gives it a 1-star and has a big write-up saying that the construction noise is absolutely insane at 6 in the morning. So this is the type of things we want to look at In other buildings that I've looked at, some people are saying, oh, the construction on the balconies are very poor. The wind noise is really, really loud at night. I can't sleep. These are the type of things, these are building quality hints that we can get a little bit of information of. And yeah, it's just a little bit of outside of the box thinking, and it helps us tell how good the builder is. The next thing we want to do is take a look at the price list. This is what everybody's interested in. This is the juicy, this is the exciting part, because you get to see how much you're actually going to end up paying. And most price lists are going to have something like this condo does here. We're going to get a starting price. It's going to be a big X through it, and they're going to make you think like you're getting some type of amazing deal. So if you see on the side here, it says limited time, very important person discount, $10,000 on the cheaper units, $20,000 on the slightly more expensive units, okay? So this is usually what they do, and another incentive for pre-construction is the deposit structure. Okay, so if you look here, they're saying you're gonna need a total of 20% down, which you do on all pre-construction condos, and they're gonna just give you extra days to pay it off. So a longer period of time, which in my opinion is very important, because the more money that you have to put down and it's out of your hands, that's money that you can't make more money on in the stock market. Now the construction company is holding it and they're making money on it, okay? So the longer I can hold my money, the better. I do appreciate this type of delayed deposit structure. And speaking of delays, we're going to look here. It says tentative occupancy is 2025. Okay, so usually these things run a little bit later than they should. So if this says 2025, in my head, I'm already thinking 2026 in best case situation. There's always slowdowns. There's always shutdowns. They can't get some material for whatever reason. They can't get permits to work at this time. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it takes longer for them to build the building. So now this can be to your advantage, as you know, real estate prices tend to rise over a period of time. This year's prices should in theory be better than next year's and the year after. So the longer this takes, technically the better for you, because you don't have to get a mortgage until this thing is complete and you take occupancy. It's a long time away. So this thing is technically, in theory, building in value while you're just waiting. The last condominium I purchased was supposed to take 5 years. It ended up taking 7 years, but it was lucky for me because it didn't increase in value that much in the first 5 years, because I had to pay a humongous premium at the time of purchase because it was located on top of a subway station. So I had to pay that upfront money, and it took a long time for the value of the condos around it to recoup. Okay, so the 5 years I was still up, but when that 7th year hit, boom, now I'm in the money, and I still hold it today. So now it's at 8 or 9 years and it's making money for me. The condominium that I'm renting out currently, it is cash flow positive. It doesn't bring out a ton of money a month, but I'm cash flow positive on it. And that's important because these condos that you're going to be buying today, they're not going to be cash flow positive for a while. So you need to keep that in mind if this is a purchase you're doing just to rent it out, okay? So if we take a look, we're going to look at a unit that most people would buy, and that's a 1+1, okay? So you get a 1-bedroom plus a den. Now they're making these things, you know, smaller and smaller all the time. So this one, for example, is 497 feet. Personally, the one I bought was 510 feet, and I wouldn't buy anything under 500. It gets a little bit tight. It also depends on the floor plan, you know, where it is, what you can afford. And I understand everyone has a different situation, but 500 square feet is the magic number for me in a major urban city. Now, this price is, with the $10,000 discount, $639,000. So, you know, unless you're putting down 60% of this $639,000, you are not going to be cash flow positive. So it's something to keep in mind. If you're buying this condo just to rent it out, are you okay with losing money monthly? Do you have a long-term view of things? Even if you're losing $100 a month, but you're paying off your mortgage and you're paying off the principal $200 a month, net you're up $100, but you're cash flow negative still. Are you okay with that? These are the questions that you need to ask. A really important metric to know is price per square foot. And we're going to do a little calculation to illustrate that. So we're going to take the starting price at $639,990, and we're going to divide that by the number of square feet, so divided by 497, and then we're going to get the price per square foot. So $639,990 divided by the number of square feet, 497, equals $1,287 per square foot. So get that in your mind. Picture a square foot in your head, and each one of those square feet is going to be $1,287. Does that sound okay with you? Can you live with that? We need to take this number and compare it with current condominiums in the same area and see how much price per square foot they're selling for right now, so we can get a good idea if we're getting a reasonable deal or not. So to compare this condo that's the pre-construction with condos that are already developed, we're going to type it into the local real estate site. For us, it's condos.ca. And so this condominium here is right in the same area, and the average price per square foot is only $784. So that is a lot less than our $1,200 that we're looking at. But we can't compare just one building. We need to look at a few. So another one is $627 for the price per square foot. So are you seeing a little bit of a difference between the 700, the 600, and the 1200? So let's look up another condo, and this one is also in a similar area, and it's $627 price per square foot. So are you guys seeing a little bit of a difference? We got, just under 800 and just over 600 in comparison to our calculation, which puts us over $1,200 a square foot. Now, there's a couple things to consider. Not all condos are built the same. Some are a lot better. And you're always going to pay more for something that's brand new. Brand new buildings, well, they shouldn't be deteriorating. Everything's sparkling clean, brand new. You're going to have years and years of use out of it versus these older buildings. This is an 18-year-old building. So the condo fees on this, for example, are going to be quite high because, things wear down over time. This building's going to need a lot more maintenance. So take it with a grain of salt, but you need to consider that. We're just going to go back to the unique facts about this pre-construction building that we're looking at, okay? So what they're toting here is a 24-hour concierge service along with a pool and a pet spa, okay? So I just want to talk about that for a second. This 24-hour concierge service, any of us who've ever lived in a condominium know that this is the greatest amount of your condo fees, okay? In my opinion, this is so unnecessary. People like having it, but the amount of money this takes up from your building, oh my gosh, guys. It's around 50% of your condo budget. Do you really want to be spending $300 a month to have a person standing downstairs? I don't. I know people like it. It's up to you. Keep it in mind. Along with the pool, that's a super expensive maintenance fee right there, okay? You're really, really paying a lot out of pocket a month to have these features. People like them. It's not really for me, so keep it in mind what you're buying, what you're paying for, because here the maintenance fee says approximately 69 cents a square foot, okay? So you need to keep in mind, what does that come with? Does that come with my hydro? What about my water? Do I get cable? Some buildings do give it, some buildings give you almost nothing. So keep it in mind what you want for the future, and if you want low maintenance fees in the future, you're gonna want to avoid things like the pool and concierge. Another important thing to do is look at the diagram of your unit that you want, your particular unit. So this is the one we've been talking about this whole time. It's a 1-bedroom plus den, 497 square feet. Now, I'm not picking on anything. It's just important to really scrutinize things. This is how you're going to live or your renter's going to live, okay? So you need to look at how big the rooms are, okay? So everything's just a box when you're looking at it on these diagrams here. You need to conceptualize in your head the measurement. This is important. So if we look at this den, it is 9 by 8, okay, or 8.5. This is pretty good. This is a great sized den, in my opinion. This is significantly bigger than the dens you're going to get on pre-constructions that are downtown. So you get a little bit of an advantage here. But another thing to keep in mind is to add the total dimensions. So if we want the width of the place, we need to do some math. So we're going to add the bedroom and the living room to see the width of the place. So we're going to add the 9 and the 12 feet together to get the 19. So think about how big 19 feet is in your head, and that's the width of your unit. Are you okay with that? I think it's acceptable. But some places are super, super small, and people just look at the diagrams and they're just a bunch of boxes on a paper. If you can't use your imagination to think about what it's going to look like in real life and put yourself in that situation, get a measuring tape out, get some string, go outside and some string or some tape, do a couple marks so you can see what that unit is actually going to look like. Once you have your unit picked out, you have the money ready, another couple things to really pay attention to is the development charges and levies. Okay, this is something a lot of people don't know about, but when these condo companies construct these buildings, there are certain fees they need to pay to the city. So when they sell it to you in 2021, the fees are a certain number. But if you don't have it written in your contract to not be higher than, for example, $12,000, this can raise over time. So by the time the building is complete in 2027, the fees can double. So you need it written in your contract that your fees will be capped, okay? Pay a lot of attention to that. You need capped fees at a number that you feel is appropriate. Now, another thing we need to be careful of is the actual real estate agent themselves. So are they your friend? Are they your foe? Well, I think they're somewhere in between, to be honest with you. In my opinion, it's always good to get their advice. You want to ask them about the selling price, the future value that they see, their opinions on the areas, the sales that they're seeing currently, what's for rent, what those prices are. You want their expertise, you want their opinion, but at the end of the day, you must remember you are a paycheck, okay? You are a paycheck to them. So let's take a look at how much money they're going to make off of this $639.9, okay? So usually what the real estate agent makes is about 2.5% commission. So they stand to make a heck of a lot of money off you. So we're going to use the 2.5% commission, and that comes out to be $16,000. So you buy this condo unit because you think it's a great investment for your future. Well, it's also a great investment for the real estate agent who's just about to make $16,000. Now, you need to ask yourself, what did this person do for you? Did they bring this condo to you, or did you find it yourself? Okay, so there's a couple questions you need to ask. How much value did they bring to this business deal? And if you feel they're not going to be bringing that much, maybe you can negotiate that commission down. This is something that I've done in the past, and it's worked out well for me. You can come out with a little bit of a deal because, you found the property. All they did was help you to get into the building because it was required to bring a real estate agent. There's certain scenarios where you could ask for some cash back, negotiate, and that way you're keeping a little bit of money in your pocket. Okay, so I've talked a lot today about pre-construction condominium investing. I am a big fan of it, but not in just a blank general term. It needs to be of specific value to us. Okay, we need a great building, a great location, a great unit, a good price. I mean, there's not going to be screaming deals out there in every market, and we need to see that in the future this is going to be going up in our opinions. Okay, so it has to have everything going for it. It needs transit, it needs to be close to restaurants, schools, universities, workplaces. We need everything going if we're going to be investing a large sum of money. But we can find a good deal. We can find that unicorn, if you will. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think about pre-construction investing. Do you think it's over now? The boom's done? Do you think things are just getting started? And in the coming years, we're going to have substantially higher prices? I think things will still go up a bit, but like I said, there's so many variables in real estate investing. You need to be considering all of them. Talk to your friends, talk to your family, talk to your agent. Make your own decision in the end. Good luck investing, guys. We'll see you next time.